This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you in part by the Daily Herald.
Well, Lenny, we're just before sectional Saturday. Fourth season for Metea Valley, swimming, the aquatics program in general. You've been the head man for the girls program here since its inception. Where would you kind of put this team, this program at this point?
Well, it's interesting going into this season because being last year we were so senior heavy and they were kind of the program going into it, that I think that at the end of the season we kind of felt like, how can we rebuild this now? How can this be a rebuilding year? Who are we going to get, and who can fill these major shoes like Megan Sellers, obviously, and a couple of our other speed girls who were seniors last year. So going into it, I think that we're all kind of a little bit tentative, just not understanding what we were going to get. And then within the first couple of weeks, it was very surprising seeing that we have so much more freshman and sophomore talent than we've pretty much ever had combined, that I'd probably say that this might be a team that's way stronger than last year, actually. So we have girls who not only came in and filled shoes, but they're really strong, and our freshmen from last year who kind of stepped up over the off season and are coming back even stronger than they were last year, to the point where we have this core kind of freshman sophomore nucleus with a couple seniors thrown in there, and we couldn't be happier, because if every year it keeps going like this, there's only a brighter future for us in the future.
You mentioned Megan, who's a contributor at East Carolina now, and you mentioned a group of sophomores. How much does, maybe kind of seeing her in the pool and seeing what she was able to do, Metea Valley's first state medalist, do you think, did that help them kind of coming into this season to kind of be the leaders on this squad?
I think so, but I also think, being that they were freshmen and she was a senior, they felt what she was going through, but they really didn't experience it. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that even these freshmen who are coming in, they knew of her, but they're still young. I mean, you could tell that our team is very young. Now we're getting through the taper week and they're like happier and giddier than ever. And they don't quite know what they're getting themselves into over these next couple of weeks, which for me is refreshing, because the last few years it's been so intense during this time that, I think that it was a mental mindset that's much different from this year, where they're just swimming, and we're hoping that all the hard work this year will really pay off.
You guys fourth in the conference meet this last weekend. On the boards, you mentioned how youthful this team is, but a couple seniors really doing things for you. Kelsey and Teresa finished 1-2. How cool was that to see? And I imagine they're kind of tuning things up before sectionals.
Oh, absolutely. That was great to be at that diving meet and see so many of Metea girls on the JV level and the varsity level represented. Kelsey was a top finisher, and the only other one was Amanda Burson, who's a freshman in the 50 free. So to get 2 golds out of that, and one being from diving, from a senior leader, it was really, I think, important for the team in general to see that we do still have that age on our side, especially in our diving program. These are 2 girls who have been there before, and they're just looking and itching to finally make it to state, and hopefully going into Saturday, they're going to start off things right, and their scores are better than they've ever been. So to know that our conference is so strong, but we're still kind of ahead in that area, it was a really cool feeling for us.
What's it like competing in this conference? You obviously have the juggernaut that has been Equal Valley these last couple seasons. Waubonsee's always strong, and the St. Charles schools always put out good teams.
The conference is really tough. The sectional is even tougher, and I think it's good for us because it has something for us to look forward to, or kind of look up at, and really focus on, these are some of the top girls in the state. And when we go to the state meet, some of our conference meets and our sectional meets are just as intense, just as these are the top girls in the state. So I think it's good for us because we're around that excitement and that environment all the time. So when we get to these top-notch meets, we can compete and we can go up against some of the top girls in the state. So it's fun and an exciting environment in general to be there, but it's also tough knowing that there's so many talented girls that you might not even be in that final heat, but you still have that opportunity to qualify for state. So coming into this weekend, we're looking at this heat sheet, and it's very possible that 2 to 2.5 heats of girls can qualify, which is almost unheard of. But to know that you could be in that second to last heat and still have the opportunity because you're swimming against really top-notch girls, I think it's a good feeling overall.
You mentioned Amanda Burson coming in as a freshman has made quite an impact for you guys. Conference champion, has some top 20 times in various freestyle distances this year. What's it been like to kind of see her development come in? You mentioned earlier she was a transfer student, coming from out of state. What's that been like as a coach?
It's been fun. I think that she's a girl like the rest of our freshmen who are just trying to figure out what high school season's all about. They're all very in tune to what the club is like. But being part of the IHSA is a completely different feeling, different training. All these girls haven't lifted before, so just to start with that right at the beginning of the season was something different for them. But then to literally see their transformation almost physically over the past 10 weeks is crazy, because they're coming in as these freshmen who are a little bit more inexperienced with what the high school sport is all about. And to see Amanda especially kind of pick it up in the weight room and in practice and see how she's just developed and slowly just dropped her times throughout the season, it's incredible.
Sophomore Caitlin Dieter's another one in the breaststroke that's been doing great things for you guys. I know she's pretty close to the state cut. How's she feeling going into this weekend?
Well, based on this practice, it seems like she's feeling pretty good. You could tell that her energy level is just almost through the roof. And I know that she was a little bit disappointed with her swims last year, so she knows what this is all about, and she really picked it up the entire season and worked really hard. So, the philosophy is if you've worked hard all season, just kind of let it go and see what happens, and that you put in the work. So she's one that really knows that she confidently put in the work, and she only has that 1 second to drop, and is hopeful that will happen. Hopefully we'll start it off right with that medley, and then we'll be on our way the rest of the meet.
You're also the girls water polo coach here in addition to the swimming coach. What's it being able to see, some of these girls obviously in the swimming arena, and then, you get 2.5, 3 months off, and then come April you see them again?
I think the connection, the relationship we have kind of throughout this entire year, we definitely really get to know each other. We know our practice and work ethic. They know my coaching style. And I think just to build an aquatics program like this where swimmers really want to play water polo and vice versa. And we're having girls swim because they want to play polo, and we're having polo players swim because of the same thing. And they're really getting in tune to liking both sports. And for me, it's nice going into water polo, knowing everybody's name, kind of knowing where they are, and seeing how we can develop more cohesively as a team in polo being a team sport, and then how it plays over and carries over in swimming, where it's much more individual, but the stories that they share can be from polo, they can be from swimming, and I think the friendships that they make are just so much stronger because it's literally a full year. We have girls who don't play polo their freshman year, but hear how much fun it is. And now are going to play again, or going to start playing their sophomore year because they just want to carry that over from swim to polo. So I think it's a good environment. Obviously our team is really big, and it's fun that we're developing both programs because of the connection we have.
A big youth movement here this year. You mentioned, experiencing some things in the high school season for the first time. Do you think being at the UEC meet, seeing some of the competition there will prepare some of these young girls that haven't seen a sectional meet before for as tough of a sectional they're going to see on Saturday?
I'm hoping. You never really know, because that was such a big meet and the atmosphere was so great. But sectionals is kind of different feel in general. They have the cut, the pressure's there. They know it's kind of that last meet before state. They'll be in their fast suits, which will be a little bit different. But I think that these girls at least have enough experience with club season that they've had enough big meets that they know how to get up for it. You know, the upstate 8 meet was really fun, and it was great to see those swims, and it was good to be part of some of them. But I just don't know how it'll transfer, and I don't know if 2 weeks away from that, if that'll continue, or if they're just going to have to start again and get up for it, and hopefully that'll take them into state and see what that's about.
Well, we're only a couple days away.
Yeah.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.